Welcome TechbrothersIT. In this video, we are going to take a look on different string functions. We'll be using substring, substring index, left, right, overlay, and other functions as well. So here is our sample data. You can see right there, I have employee ID here, actually employee code, and you can see that this is consisting of employee ID and then the state at the end of that. So you can see that state two codes is right there at the end of it. Then I have the email for the employee, and then we have the transaction code. So here is a list of columns that I'm going to use it. Employee code, that's for this column. Then we have email for this one and transaction code for this one. And here we are creating a data frame called df by using spark.create data frame and providing sample data right here, and then we are providing list of columns. Now our data frame will be created. I'm printing just the schema to see the schema of this data frame, and then I'm taking a look on the data of by using a show function. So let's execute this, and that should do it. Let me actually execute the whole thing, and then we will hold on one second. Let me execute. Okay, so there is a comment line missing. I'm gonna put that. Now we should be good. Okay, here is my sample data, and you can see from there, and let me show you this is our schema for employee code string, and then we have email string, and then we have transaction as a string as well. And here is our employee code and the email and the transaction code. Now we are going to go ahead and start working on different functions and see how exactly we can use that. The very first function I would like to take a look is called the substring. And here it is, and the definition of that is extract substring starting at position with the given length. So you have to tell, like, okay, so your string column that you will need to provide, hey, I want to extract something out of this one. In this case, you see right there, we are extracting employee code. Okay, so what we are extracting out of it, and the position is 10. So starting from 10th character, and then how many characters we want? We want 2 characters. So in this case, we are using this substring. So here I'm creating a new data frame called df with substring, and then applying on the df and adding a new column to it, and then we call this column region code. Okay, and then using the substring function here on this column employee code, and the starting point is 10, and then the total length of those characters is 2. So let's see right there. So these are the characters, right? So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and then so here it is. So starting from number 10 right there, and then we are going to get 2 characters right there. So if I run it, I'm going to get the state code out of that. Let's execute and take a look. So you can see right there, we have this transaction employee code, we have email and transaction code, and then finally we have new column called region code, and that we have used the substring to extract the value of each state. So now let's do this one more time, and here in this case what we are going to do, we are going to extract the employee code. So we are starting from number 5, and here is, you can see that so 1 2 3 4, so we want to extract this number right there. Okay, so we are starting from number 5, and then we are going to, how many characters we want 4. So here I'm creating a new data frame df substring, and then we are applying this with function on our existing data frame, add a new column called employee number, and then from there we are applying this function. So this whatever this function is going to return, that's going to be for this column. Okay, and here it is, and we have employee code, and then starting from 5th character, and then 4 characters the length. So let's execute that and take a look what it returns us. So now we can see that we have employee number, and this is the number it has extracted from here. So you can see right there. So this is these are values got extracted from employee code. Now let's take a look on some other functions such as a substring index. So it splits by delimiter and returns parts based on the count. So you need to have provide a string type of column there. Then you have delimiter string, and then what you want the count, the number of occurrence of the delimiter to search for. Okay, positive number returns the substring on the left of the nth occurrence, and the negative count returns the substring to the right of the nth occurrence. So in our case, if you see right there, we have email here, and I would like to see this character, so at the rate sign. Okay, so we are going to use that one, and I'm going to show you some examples here. So here I'm creating a new data frame called df domain, and then I'm adding a new column to the existing data frame and save into this new data frame. So df.with column, and this new column is going to be domain, and then I'm applying a substring index, and I'm telling like, okay, apply this function on this email column and look for this at the rate sign, and then I'm saying -1. So that means I want all the things from the right side after this character. So let's execute that and take a look. So we can see right there the email, and we can see that it's Maria.Fernandez, and then we have healthcare.org, and now we are getting this value healthcare.gov, and from here after this character we are getting fintech.com. So we are getting all those things on the right side. But let's say if I want to get everything on the left side, what I can do on this case, I just have to change this number to the positive number, and that's it. So now if I'm going to go ahead and execute this part, what will happen now, we will get everything on the left side of that character. So here it is, and you can see that at the rate sign, and then this is the email of on the left side, and then John.Davis, then on this, so you can see that we are getting everything in here on the left of this at the rate sign. So this is how you can use this index substring index column, and from there you can extract different values depending on left or right, if you provide positive or negative number here. Now if we are looking for the lefters, and then it is we have to tell the string column, and then tell how much we want to get from the left side. So here I'm creating a data frame called df left, and then we are saying df domain. That's just data frame we just created with our new column called domain. And from the domain, what we are going to do, we want to get only 5 characters, and I'm going to call this domain prefix and left, and then I'm using domain column here, and I'm saying, hey, get 5 characters out of it. And once we execute, what's going to happen, it's going to get 5 characters from there. So on the left, so you can see right there, this was our domain, and you can see that Maria dot, and then John dot, and Lucy dot, and all that. So you can see that now we are getting 5 characters. So these ones right there, right? So John and dot, these are 5 characters, and Lucy's, and then Peter. So we are getting all those. This is 5 characters. So we are getting these. So you can use left as well to get the data from any column, and it will return you the number of characters that you have specified here from the left side. Now if you want to do the right side, that's also possible. In this case, you will be using right function. So here we are saying df data frame, right data frame equal to df domain data frame with column, add a new column, and then we call it tld, and right, so we are putting a right function on domain column and saying, hey, get me only 3 characters from the right side, and then we are going to print this data frame. So let's execute this code, and now we should be seeing only 3 characters from there. So you can see right there, it extracted only 3 characters from the domain. So right there, okay, so here. So you can use either left or right depending on your needs, and I have been honestly using a lot of left, right, substring index. There are a lot of scenarios where you will end up using these. Now there is another function called overlay, and you have to provide source column there, then replace, and position and length. So you have to let's say what we want to replace with. So if you guys remember that we have this transaction, and in the transaction we have this txn, and then we have this number. Let's think about a scenario if I would like to hide this or mask this data with some value, and I want to use maybe for a dev, or give some this data to some for the testing or something like that. So in this case I can use overlay. So here I'm creating a new data frame called df overlay, and this is the original data frame that we had, and that's equal to df dot with column. So we are adding a new column to our the very original data frame, and then saving into the df overlay. Now the name of the column is going to be mask txn, and then we are applying a function to get the value for this. So this is a new column we are adding, but the value for this column is coming from this function or this part of it. So it says overlay, transaction code. So this is our column, if you see right there, and then now we are saying lit and x 5 axes right there. Okay, starting from 5th and end with the after 5 characters. So if you see right there, it's going to start from here and then ends with this. So this entire will be just to show us the xxx instead of the actual transaction number there. So this is very helpful, especially in the case of you have to provide this to the dev or UAT and all of the people for testing, and you can see right there. So this was our original transaction code, and you could see like, okay, there was numbers here, and now we have masked the transaction that has replaced the numbers with the xxx. So this is how you will be using different functions such as string, left, right, overlay, and perform all those operations depending upon your data needs. I really appreciate if you go ahead and subscribe my channel, and I will see you guys in next video. I will put this code in the description as well for your testing.